Everyone, and this is our belief, should have 30 to 40% of their asset that should be their properties, if not more.
If you have 1 million euros, they're going to pay you at least 6% of your investment yearly.
What would I expect to encounter on my journey towards purchasing a property? What would you advise me I should look out for?
With a significant low deposits, you can get a property that finances itself.
They say that the property where you live is a liability and the property that you rent is actually an asset.
So you give me 1 million euros, every year I'm going to give you 60,000 euros.
So we're not taking this step, buying into a property that is an income generating asset and that will bring capital appreciation.
So, Niamh, welcome to the investment journey.
Thank you, Neil.
How are you
for
doing?
having me. Yes, I'm good. Thank you. And you?
Good. Yeah, really good. I'm excited to have you on the show. We're going to talk about the Golden Visa in Portugal, which is a really timely topic, really important topic for both our audience and listeners and the company itself. But before we do that, maybe you can start by just telling me how and when you came to be at Athena Advisers.
Okay, thank you, Neil. So my name is Niamh Arbeck. I'm from Athena Advisers. I'm the sales director here and I've been working in sales for the past 20 years. It's hard to say that, but it's true. I've really enjoyed working in Athena. I moved over from Dublin, hence the Irish accent. I've loved living in London with Athena Advisers. And we opened up various different destinations like France and Portugal. And obviously the route of the Golden Visa has been a highlight of our lives the last 7 years, so we can definitely talk more about what is the Golden Visa, because still people are very confused about the Golden Visa in Portugal. So happy to explain it all to you, no problem.
Cool. The Golden Visa, I've got it here actually. It was 2012.
Correct.
October 2012 that the Golden Visa launched. You were already at Athena Advisers.
Yes, exactly.
So we started selling the Golden Visa as it launched and we've been part of that journey all the way through. Can you remember when it was launched, how that affected what it was we were doing? We obviously suddenly had a new influx of clientele that were suddenly looking for an opportunity to access this Golden Visa and access 27 Schengen countries. So how, looking back to 2012, how did that change the orientation of what you were doing at Athena Advisers?
Okay, so a lot of our clients are definitely lifestyle clients and investors, so high net worth individuals from all over the world. A lot of them were coming from the US. So they've noticed Portugal on the map. A lot of people didn't even know where it was, and they noticed that there was a lot of benefits to Portugal, whether it was the weather, the tax incentives, or the Golden Visa. So the Golden Visa started coming out, and a lot of our clients, because we're on the ground, they asked us to go out and source the best investments on the ground in the place for them to invest in their Golden Visa applications. And what it was is just real estate. You were able to buy real estate, minimum 500,000 euros, put it into a Golden Visa application, and that gave you an opportunity to actually work, live and study in Portugal. But it goes way beyond that, and this is where Portugal is definitely the winner of the Golden Visa applications, because once you hold that investment for 6 years, you can actually get a passport. And once you have the passport, you can sell the asset, have your money back if you want to, but also live in any of the European countries. So you don't have to live in Portugal. You can live in Spain, you can live in Italy, you can live in Paris. It opened up like 27 countries now that the UK is out of Europe. And that's golden dust, I think. That is definitely the winner of everything. I think a lot of countries have golden visas and there's a lot of different terms and conditions, but Portugal, to offer a passport to a family, not having to reside in the country and only just visit 7 days a year, is amazing. So I think everybody should have one. I think even just going to Portugal, myself from the UK, seeing those big long queues where it has EU and non-EU, and I have an Irish passport, I'm very lucky to have it, and to go through the EU part, I feel important.
I feel very unimportant
I'm sorry.
now because I'm back and forth to Portugal all the time.
So I just wanted to point that out, and that's a comment a lot of our clients have made. I don't want to queue, I don't want to spend hours in the airport. I want to be able to, be still European. And Brexit has also affected a lot of the things. A lot of our UK clients have also applied for this Portuguese Golden Visa, not just the USA or non-EUs. So yeah, it's there, it's valid. The rules have changed, and sadly, so there's no real estate now attached to the Golden Visa. Now it's the fund route, and there's all different various funds that we're now talking to the best fund advisors and managers out there to again source the best products to be able to promote it to our clients if they wish to apply. And the rules haven't changed. You still have to visit the country 7 days a year. You hold the investment for 6-7 years, and then you apply for your Portuguese passport, and that's it really. That's in essence. And the beauty of it is it's not just one application. So if you've got a family member of 10 children, they all go on the same application. So one Golden Visa of 500,000 euros applies for the whole family basically. Also your dependents, so if you've got mother and father and they're above the age of 65, they don't need any paperwork to be on your application. So that's even great. They can travel with you as well. And again, they don't have to leave their country and move to Portugal. They just have to live there for 7 days a year. That's it.
It's a huge legacy decision, isn't it? Because it's not just about one individual investor. It's about what that knock-on effect can do for the generation above and
Yes,
the generation below, and then the
absolutely.
generations onwards as well. So maybe you can tell me a little bit about our clientele. What's the sort of demographic of people that we're selling the Golden Visa to, and what is it that they're seeking both for themselves but also their family in terms of that lifestyle, in terms of that generational change?
Yeah, a lot of them is definitely lifestyle driven, but then a lot is political. So, you know, we've got the war going on, we've got the Trump situation in the US, so, and then we've got the Erdogan in Turkey, so there's a lot of Brexit in the UK. So these are the comments we get from our clientele, and they say, okay, this is why I want to do the Golden Visa. Portuguese government is offering me the passport, so I want a B plan for my family in case I want to get up and leave and move to Europe. So a lot of the decision making, yes, it's lifestyle. They want to maybe live or relocate there one day for their retirement, but also politically, in case, you know, they want to move out of their country, they have that option to do so. And I think everybody should have that option, regardless. You should be able to send your kids to Paris to study, or Germany, or anywhere, you know, in Europe if they want to go to any kind of university. But they can't because they need special visas, etc. They can't work anywhere they want to. They're limited. You have to, you know, apply for visas. It's just a lot of headaches. So you're actually giving a great future for your children by doing this as well, for their future, for their education, for their lifestyle, for their children. So yes, it is. It's definitely a big family affair.
Since October 2012, 7,318,000,000 euros has been invested into Portugal via the Golden Visa across 12,718 investors, which is an amazing thing, I think, for the Portuguese economy to be able to have that sort of foreign investment into their economy to build it up. It's obviously come with challenges. It's pushed real estate prices up, which has caused some challenges with, you know, local residents, because 6.4 trillion of that has been via real estate, which works out, I think, to about 90%. That's now closing off, and not in its place, because I think something like the investment funds have seen a 200% increase in applications in the last 12 months. So it's obviously a popular route anyway. Maybe you can just talk a little bit about the fact that the real estate is now closed as an application route, and we're now focusing on investment funds. Can you describe for those listening what those investment funds look like, how that process is different, the sort of benefits of going down this route instead of the real estate? Because there are some benefits to it, even though it's a little bit lesser known, or has been lesser known. I think real estate is generally more of a common investment that people can get their head around. So it seems like a safer route, but the investment fund is also a really interesting route. So maybe you can just, for our audience, explain a little bit about the investment funds that we work with, the benefits of going down that route, and maybe the difference in application process as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think the fund investment route is actually the best one, because it's regulated, whereas property market is not regulated. So I think it's really safe. It's approved by the CMVA. There's a fund manager in place. So the whole security and the due diligence around it is much, much, much greater. So that's one point. Nothing has changed on the investment side. It's still 500,000 euros. It's actually a quicker process. You can finish off a fund investment within a week. It's non-emotional. You don't have to get on a plane, jump from the US to Portugal to see that property and visit like 10 agents and see 20 properties and then decide. So it's a really quick route. It's non-emotional. And yeah, you just have to, you know, understand what fund investment you want to be able to enter into, because there's all different categories, from hospitality to entertainment to football to green energy. So whichever product you feel much safe and comfortable with, and we will explain all of those. And we actually have a webinar on it next Wednesday, 2nd of November, with one of our big top fund managers. And once you decide on the investment, you enter, and there is no prescription fee, basically, with the ones that we have chosen. You don't have to pay any IMT taxes of 7.3% like you would have had for a property. So you're saving a little bit there on the upfront costs. You have no ongoing costs, like, so when you own a property, you have to pay property tax, management fees, rental agency fees, etc. And then the whole headache of, you know, if someone breaks something, you have to replace everything. So the whole management of your property, you don't have any headache with the funds. It's very clear cut, very cost effective. There's no running cost per year. And actually there's no taxes, so that's even the best part. So when the fund matures after the 7-year period, then all the revenues will be distributed, you get your money back, you will have the profit gain as well, and it's a really good return on your investment. And then, you know, you'll also have your passport. So that's really the main benefit of all this.
And there's almost kind of like a kick-on benefit as well when you consider that real estate as a market tends to underpin the economy. And the real estate market has been exceptional in Portugal for many years, somewhat due to the Golden Visa itself. So they've essentially invested into the economy via the route of the real estate, closed the real estate, and that burgeoning economy now is opening up funds to be able to invest in all these different new markets that have come from that underpinning of real estate. So it's not just access to Portugal and then the Schengen area that you get through this fund, but actually, there's some really interesting funds out there and some really interesting financial incentives and opportunities.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, as an example, say if I say to you today, Niamh, I would like to access a Golden Visa, how does that application process work via yourself and Athena Advisers, and how do you connect me with the network of people that you're working with in Portugal to make sure that I have done all of the due diligence by yourself that I feel I need to be able to make that investment? Because it's a sizable investment and it can be deemed sizable, but then you think about all of the benefits from it and it's not too sizable because you're also looking to take a return investment. So maybe you can just give an example of what that journey and process looks like. I call you Niamh, I'm ready to relocate to Portugal via the Golden Visa. I have 500,000 here. What happens next? What do I need to do?
We give a lot of hands-on support for our clients. We stay in the middle of everything, every process, every step of the way. And the first thing we do is basically introduce them to a very good lawyer in Portugal. We will be on the Zoom meetings at all times. So we will have the fund manager, we will have the bank manager, and we will also have the lawyers on board to introduce our clients, because they're abroad. They're never going to be there to meet them in person. Everything's done very remotely and everything can be processed very fast. And we're in the middle to help our clients process that application very smoothly, basically, giving them less headache. So we would first start off with the lawyers. The lawyers will send the documentations that they need. We will help our clients to gather those documentations and make sure that their criminal records are applied for. All the necessary paperwork they need to provide, we will make sure it goes to the lawyers. The lawyers will make those applications into the CEF system once the client has actually signed up their fund investment with the fund manager and once they have opened up their bank account with the 500,000 euro transfer. So once they're in the application in the system, that's it, they're done. And then they have to wait for the biometrics to come through. It takes about 1.5 years now at this stage, with all the backlog and the volume of Golden Visa applications that we have. After they receive the biometrics, they will have to wait for their Golden Visa cards, and it normally takes 2 to 3 months. From there, that point onwards, they can work, live and study in Portugal. That's it. They can travel around the whole Schengen area. for 90 days, come in and out as long as they want to. There's no visa requirements anymore either. Then they just hold the investment for 7 to 8 years, and then they will have the passport at the end of it, basically.
So it's an A to Z handhold.
Yes, and with our clients being based in the US and Asia, we're always switched on. So we're either working very early in the morning or very late at night time. So when our clients actually reply to us or text messages in the middle of the night, they get a reply.
If I've already got an application in process for a real estate application, and this news is obviously dropped, what should I do?
So once you're in the system, you're in the system, okay? So that's guaranteed. So you will just have to wait for your biometrics to come through. So the biometrics is taken, it used to take 3 months, it was 6, then it went up to 6 months, now it's 12 months, etc. So because of the volume, because of the huge interest around the world, the increase in time frame has gone up basically, and that's what that is about. And also the backlog from COVID is still there. So it will take about a minimum 12 months to process your application and then get your golden visa cards, and then after that you're guaranteed your application.
Do you anticipate that the investment fund will stay open? Because there's been a lot of noise about it closing entirely. But with the investment fund, it seems like something that's not going to cause any sort of controversy, any sort of challenges within the Portugal economy itself, and it's only going to be something of a benefit. So do you think that that will continue?
Yes, I do. I think the fund investments is a really good financial vehicle to have, and it's, I think Portugal's done very well out of the golden visa. So I would imagine they would like to keep it open because it's one of the economy drivers, I think, as well at this point. They've benefited hugely from it. It's all been cash buyers, so it's not like it's been mortgages and interest rates and having the banks affected. It's been, complete cash coming into the country. So the financial crisis in 2008 were driven by mortgage applications. I haven't been offering mortgages at 100%, 104%. That's not the case here. All the cash buyers have come into Portugal to buy their properties, and that's the good news.
It feels like a natural maturing of the Golden Visa program for it to enter this stage, and this stage seems to be the one where it's found its space where it can have the continuity that maybe the real estate, clearly didn't have. Portugal offers so much. It offers so much in its cost of living, in its quality of life, in its safety numbers. I saw a statistic that the average advanced support life ambulance ride in America, guess how much it costs to get an ambulance in America?
Tell me.
$1,200.
No way.
$1,200 compared to free in Portugal. And it also calculated on healthcare, the average healthcare spend per person is $12,000 per person. To Portugal's $2,000. So that's not saying everybody.
And that's private. That's private healthcare.
That's the average across everybody in the entire country. So not to say that everybody spent $12,000 or above in America, but if you do end up having to have an issue, the chances are you're going to have to spend big money for it. So it's not just that there's 300 days of sunshine. It's not just that you have access to 27 countries, the Schengen area, but in terms of real life and quality of life, because we sell property and we sell now investment funds, but really underneath it all, the core of it is a lifestyle. There are two main destinations.
Yeah.
It's the French Alps, which is an amazing lifestyle, and Portugal, which does have that 300 days of sunshine. And if you spend enough time in vitamin D, it does have a profound effect on the culture and on the quality of life. So I think for anybody who's listening from America, I think it's often maybe perceived as just another European country, but it's a very special country in that it's the cheapest country in Western Europe to live in, but you also have the culture and the quality of life and the seafood. And if you're a surfer, the coastline and the waves, it is so diverse in everything it has to offer. So you have quite a big American clientele basis, and you are going out there sometime soon.
16th of November, yes.
16th of November on what we call a roadshow. So maybe you can just explain a little bit about the roadshows, the purpose of them, why you do them, and why clients find them so helpful as well.
Yeah, so it's amazing to be able to meet our American clients because they're on the phone to us every day, and I know we do Zoom and WhatsApp, etc., but it's not the same. So when we go out there, they're really excited to be able to sit down and discuss their investment models, their golden visas, their strategy, what they should do, where they should retire. Because you're right, Portugal, it's not just about having a golden visa and a passport. may or may not live there. When you understand what Portugal offers, you're like, wow, I want to live there, because from the health system being so cheap and good, you know, the best doctors, the best universities, they have the best restaurants, you know, surfer life is over there, the nomads, the tech industry, the Ubers are so cheap, everything is just very cost effective over there. You can get anywhere you want. You can play golf at the weekend, you can go to the beach areas, I mean, you name it, you have every kind of sport there. So it does offer an awful lot, and it's very accessible as well to be able to travel. A lot of airlines now have opened up several times, several ways from America and from Portugal and other destinations as well. I would be there nearly every month, visiting a lot of our clients from all parts of the world, and especially in New York, in San Francisco, in California, etc. But this time around I'll be in Austin, probably Houston, Dallas, maybe San Diego as well, and we'll see where else we were needed. So.
And that's from the 14th of November?
From the 16th of November.
16th of November. And if you're not in any of those destinations, we have a webinar next week.
Yes.
And that webinar is all about...
That webinar is all about the fund investments, the Golden Visa, the process, the time, the cost, everything. So if you're still interested in applying for your Golden Visa, definitely join us 11 a.m. or 4 p.m. So we've covered the Asian market at 11 a.m. or the UK, and then also 4 p.m. would be mostly for the Americans. So we will have our best fund manager on board explaining the fund investments that we're going to be taking on, and we will have a top lawyer on board explaining the process, etc. So it'll be super useful, very hands-on. You'll be able to ask your questions, and if you're interested, we'll send you out the details. And yes, I can't wait to go to the States on the 16th of November, and I'll be happy to meet you if you're there.
Amazing, Niamh.
I don't know if you're going there.
I'm not going. I'll come with you. We'll go on a team
Okay,
trip.
We'll go on a road
I'm
trip.
ready. Do you need a driver?
Yeah.
I can drive.
No, I can drive. I
Okay.
love driving.
Thank you so much.
No worries at all. Thank you for having me.